What's in a Crockpot? Part 1. I didn't want to tell them. Sister Nettie. Que sera, sera. Missy Clary. All kinds of flavors are running around loose in Charlie's head, and as a result, it is beginning to swell. By pouring all this flavor into a large crock pot, it is guaranteed that the outcome will be of a magnificent smell. I've been very reluctant, but now, I believe the time is right for me to tell you that Charlie had a mental breakdown a few weeks back. For some unknown reasons, he would start writing a story and then suddenly, he would quit and start on another one, while still on the same track. Master, shut up. I'll take over. Hello everybody. My mind is full with traffic and the congestion is taking place at a rapid rate. I have to find a way to relieve some of this pressure, so the best thing for me to do is to open up some of these floodgates. What I'm about to do has never been attempted by me before, and I hope I won't lose you during the random thought release. As I present these incompleted and completed stories to you, rest assured that the quality of any of them will not decrease. Now that you've been warned, the floodgates are beginning to open and my inner thoughts are randomly coming your way. Some of you may relate and some of you may not, and whichever the case might be, nevertheless, you have a good day. Just so you all know, I'm in a good mood, so the issues that I throw in your face are not out of anger but is in good taste. Now that we have a better understanding of where I'm coming from, not another minute will I continue to waste. One last thing. The following are the pieces of thoughts, or in this case, ingredients incorporated into this crock pot. I didn't want to tell them. Sister Nettie. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. Missy Clary. Teaching the boys math. Can you relate to this? Are you hungry? Did you eat? Roger Rabbit from the agency. If you're that type of person. Last Dance. Not a church person. Everybody talks about somebody. Common Sense. Need a makeover. A crop to plant. Lucinda. The Devil's Daughter. Peking, the news correspondent. Enjoy the dinner to the best of your ability. To break their hearts, I could not. During the conversation, I was in a difficult spot. Her self-esteem seems to be at a very low level, and this is evident from the things she say and do. At one point of being exposed to her, I was very critical of her demeanor and it was causing me to be a bit blue. I went back to my hometown the other day, and while I was there, I met with your mama and daddy. During the conversation that I had with them, they asked me how you were doing, and for me to tell them the truth, I just wasn't ready. I didn't want to tell them that you struggled through school and can barely read or write. I didn't want to tell them that you sleep during the day and you drink and get drunk during the night. I didn't want to tell them that you were living from day to day and that you were barely getting by. I didn't want to tell them that instead of finding a job or going back to school, you would rather get high. I didn't want to tell them that, at the age of approaching 30, you had no life accomplishments that would make them proud. I didn't want to tell them that the influences on your life were of negativity, from your inner crowd. I didn't want to tell them that you were a follower who didn't have the necessary skills to lead. I didn't want to tell your daddy that he was mainly at fault for you not being able to succeed. I didn't want to tell your parents that you were engaged and your significant other was unemployed as well and was content with the way you both were living. I didn't want to tell them that the both of you were all about the receiving and not the least bit interested in giving. As I sat there talking with your parents, tears appeared to accumulate in my eyes. It never occurred to me that I would have this conversation with them, and it really caught me by surprise. I didn't want to tell your parents that you got arrested and had to do some time in jail for the act of stealing. I didn't want to tell your parents that there's a lot of serious drama in your life that you are concealing. When I was about to leave, your mama pulled me off to the side and asked of me to intervene. I didn't want to tell your mama this, but some of the photographs you take are on the borderline of being obscene. Even though your mama and I were very good friends, I didn't want to tell her that your lifestyle was a downright disgrace. For the sake of not causing any drama, I told your mama that it was better to stay in my place. As I was leaving, your mama was sobbing out of control and I did my best in trying to console. I tried to reassure her that it was not her fault that you were out of control. Seductive as she wanna be, and she knows that all the men are looking with their minds in a pleasant thought. That sexy dress that's fitting her body just right, she just recently went out and bought. Being married to a preacher has changed Sister Nettie's life in so many ways, one might say. Many of the activities that she used to engage in have pretty much gone away. Hanging out at the clubs, drinking and dancing, have came to a sudden halt. Although she tries to be a good preacher's wife, Sister Nettie is finding it very hard not to be at fault. Often, she discusses her private life to strangers and don't take into consideration the possible outcome. For her to have an insatiable appetite for sex, only one needs to know where she's coming from. Word around town is that Sister Nettie preys on the kindness and generosity of others, and she does it quite a bit. Those who be observing her says she has a Jekyll and Hyde personality that is evenly split. It is no secret that Sister Nettie tries to keep up with the Joneses, and she's struggling, trying to do so. Sometimes, Sister Nettie forgets that the family finances are not on a prosperous flow. Sadly to say, that Sister Nettie is not aware of those that smiles in her face, but then again, she's reciprocating the greet. The things she say and do to the old men they think are so very sweet. I wonder why Sister Nettie is rubbing up against that man, knowing that she's affecting him in an embarrassing way. I wonder why Sister Nettie touched him there, because she knows he might not want a public display. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be will be. The future is so very clearly and I can't see. Charlie, you might not think I'm sincere, but I'm very concerned about you. Tell me what you're thinking about, so that I can assist and get you through. Master P. Thank you for showing interest in my state of being, and I welcome the opportunity to ventilate. What I'm about to tell you, it might be very difficult for you to relate. As you well know, Toshiba and my relationship began many years way back, and we made love on a regular basis. As the relationship grew, we went from making love to having sex in different kinds of places. As the relationship grew deeper, from making love to having sex, now we just engage. The teasing, the foreplay, the horniness, the freakiness, all have disappeared at this stage. To continue and simply put it, there's no such effort in bumping and grinding, nor hugging and kissing. What was once that had the makings of is nowhere to be found and could be considered on the missing. What used to last for quite a while has now turned into nothing at all, or just a period of brief. What's the purpose of the engagement if it's not bringing forth a degree of mutual relief? Why must I feel like that? Why must I feel like that? Why must I chase the cat? Missy Clary was born and raised in Franklin, Virginia, 23851. She was born in the late 1960s, and any brothers and sisters she had none. Missy was mixed with Hispanic and African blood, in which her mother was a Mexican and her daddy was black. Unfortunately for her, both of Missy's parents had a long time been addicted to crack. Missy resided at the address of 315 Wilson Street, and she was well known all over the neighborhood. She had a charming personality and would please each and everyone if she could. When Missy was 15 years of age, her parents were sent to prison for robbing the local mailman. With no next of kin to care for her, Missy was temporarily charged to the custody of the Perkinson family, from what I understand. Unknowingly to the family, Missy was sexually active with a boy named Bullet, who lived next door. Bullet was also biracial with a bloodline of a Caucasian, but of his black heritage, he would lean towards more. One day, Bullet and Missy got caught in the act of having sexual intercourse. When Miss Perkinson was notified of the incident, she confronted Missy and gave her a choice. She would either abstain from the sexual activity or she would have to pack her belongings and go. After 2 weeks had passed, Missy was back to her old routine and she did her best to keep it on the down low. Unfortunately for her, Bullet's love-making juices found its way to the right spot and as a result, Missy became pregnant with a set of twins. In the Perkinsons' home, this is when the tension would begin. After having the babies, Missy and Bullet were pressured to give them away, in sorrow. Even though Missy didn't have much to say about it, she knew it would be best for her children, especially their upcoming tomorrow. Because of further complications, she was also asked to leave the family home. It was a very sad day for all and Missy was being abandoned and left all alone. Saying goodbye to her was very hard and there was a moment of silence, where no one would speak. After a week or so of being away from the Perkinsons' home, Missy returned and forgiveness she would seek. Realizing that she had made a mistake, Miss Perkinson would give Missy a second chance to turn her life around. Their love for her was much too strong and they prayed that she would not again let them down. All was going well until this particular day, when the family received some bad news that made them weep. Missy had become very ill and a final decision was made to put her to sleep. Missy, may you rest in peace.